Hello everyone, welcome to my channel SR Techhub Official. In this video, I'm going to explain what is Docker and what is virtual servers. Also, I will explain the differences among physical virtual servers and Docker containers. Also, I will show you how to install Docker in a EC2 instance, and I will show you how to create a Docker container on top of EC2 instance. Before starting today's topic, please subscribe my channel to get more technical videos. Also, you can get free cloud courses. Please don't forget to like and share these videos so that it will reach a lot of learners who wants to learn cloud courses with free of cost. Yeah, let us start today's topic. First, I will explain the difference between physical server and virtual servers. Yeah, at very first, we had only one option, that was physical server. First, we will see what is a physical server. Physical servers. Now here, physical server means it is a physical hardware. Let us assume that this is the physical hardware. Just assume that we have physical hardware 500 GB hard disk and 16 GB RAM and one processor. There are other hardware components also will be there, but we'll take these three in this example. Fine. Now, on top of this hardware, we need to install operating system. Without operating system, we cannot work with any physical server, any hardware, because it will not understand our English language. That is the reason. Yeah. Now, we will install operating system. Operating system should be installed. It's must. Fine. Now, it can be Windows or it can be Linux or anything. Operating system, that means OS. Fine. On top of this operating system, we can run the application, whatever application. It can be Java, it can be .NET, anything. Fine. We can run one application on top of this hardware. This is app 1. Application 1. Fine. Here, sometimes this application may consume 400 GB. Sometimes it may consume 100 GB. If it consumes 100 GB, what about the rest of 400 GB space? It will be wasted. Also, whenever you want to scale the environment, whenever you want to scale up the environment, that means based on the load, sometimes we may need to increase the number of servers in the production environment. So that time, if you want to increase, it's very difficult. We need to purchase physical servers. For example, you need some 500 servers. You need to purchase 500 servers and you need to add into the production environment. Again, this space will be wasted in all the servers. So there are a lot of challenges. And also we need a lot of space to place these servers. Also, we need a lot of hardware teams and network teams, storage teams, like that. So even for virtual servers also we need all those teams, but in case of if you use all physical servers, we need more people to handle these servers. It's very difficult. Now, that is the reason virtualization has come into the picture. Virtualization. Let us see what is virtualization. What is virtual servers? Here, same. We will take a physical hardware. We need physical hardware to create virtual servers also. Here, we will just use same hardware. We will just take same configuration in this example. 500 GB and 16 GB RAM and one processor. On top of this, we will install operating system. We should install operating system. Otherwise, we cannot communicate with this hardware. Okay, let's test. This is the operating system. This is the operating system. It can be Linux or whatever, Windows. So based on the application behavior, we will just choose operating system. Fine. On top of this operating system, what we will do, we will just install one kind of hypervisor. That means there is a virtualization concept, hypervisor. With help of this hypervisor, we can create multiple servers virtually. Virtual means which is not present physically. This is virtual server 1, this is virtual server 2, and virtual server 3, like this. Now, on top of same physical hardware, again, every virtual server should have its own operating system copy, OS. This is very important. Now, operating system. This is VM1. This is VM2. VM means virtual server, virtual machine. Virtual machine or virtual servers, anything is same. Yeah, fine. VM3, VM4, like that. Based on this configuration, based on this capacity, we can create a number of virtual servers. Fine. Again, here we can run one application, app 1. Here we can run another application, app 2, app 3. Yeah, like this. Fine. Now, what we can do, we can just see what we are doing in this virtualization concept. Hypervisor is distributing this hardware among multiple virtual servers. That means if you want to scale up the environment, if you want to increase the number of servers, you don't need to purchase new physical servers. You can just create virtual servers on top of same hardware. So it becomes very easy. Also, you need very less space to place all these virtual servers, and it will not take much time to create these servers also. So these are the major differences between physical server and virtual server. There are other differences also. In this video, I'm not going to discuss all about all those things. In next video, in future videos, I will just elaborate these topics. And also one more thing you should remember here. All these virtual servers are sharing this hardware. So that is the reason the wastage of hardware is very less compared with this physical servers. That is very important. Now, again, Docker containerization has come into the picture. So that is the advanced topic of this virtualization concept. Fine, that is the advanced concept. How we will create this Docker containers, we will see. Now, let us take one virtual server. 1 second. Let us take one virtual server. On top of virtual servers, we can create Docker containers. In this virtual server, here, let us assume that same hardware here also, 5 GB, 16 GB RAM, and one processor will be there. On top of this, operating system should be installed. Let me just separate this. We will just install one operating system, because either physical server or virtual server should have its own operating system copy. This is the OS. On top of this, instead of hypervisor, we will install Docker. We'll install Docker. Docker is a software. Docker is a tool. With help of this Docker, we will create multiple containers. What is container? Container is also a server, same like a virtual server. Container also is a complete server. 2, 3, that based on this hardware capacity, we can just create number of containers. That means here That's okay. This also is a similar like a VM virtualization concept. What is the difference between this virtualization and Docker? Here, these are the containers. Fine. This is container 1, container 2, container 3. Container 2 like container 3 like this, and container 4. We can run one application here, one more application here, and one more application here. So here also we can run one more application. Fine. But the difference is here VMs will have its own operating system. Full copy of operating system will be there in a virtual machine. In containers, there will be no dedicated operating system. So that means it is a lightweight machine. We compare with VMs, Dockers are lightweight machines. Lightweight means, so there will be no dedicated operating system copy. Then how container will work? Here, hypervisor will distribute this hardware among the virtual servers. In this containers concept, Docker will distribute this hardware, also operating system, among multiple containers. So what is the use of it? That means, see, for example, in any software project, you will be using some thousands of servers. For example, when you're using, if you're using 2000 servers in your project, each server should have its own operating system, as we discussed. Operating system will consume at least 2.5 GB to 3 GB. Let us assume that 2.5 GB. It's Ubuntu operating system, Ubuntu Linux operating system will consume 2.5 to 2.7 GB. Fine. If operating system consumes 2.5 GB in each server, so it would be like 2.5 into 2000. Then how much? 4,500 GB will be wasted. 4,500 GB will be wasted. Will be consumed by operating system, not wasted. Here, you can save that 4,500 GB space in Docker containers. Also, one more thing. This is major difference. And one more thing is, whenever you want to create multiple virtual servers, for example, if you want to create some 500 virtual servers or 100 virtual servers, you need to depend on this virtualization team, that means cloud team. If you raise a request, they will check all these approvals, then they will create this. It will take some time. Sometimes it will take 1 week, 2 weeks, even 3 weeks also it may take. And also, if you want to install something, you have to depend on other teams again. In containers, when you're working with these containers, you can create on your own as a DevOps engineer. With single command, you can create the containers. You no need to depend on any other teams. Also, whenever you want to install some prerequisites along with the applications, you no need to depend on any other team. You can just create the containers, multiple containers from the Docker image. Docker image concept is very useful, and without a Docker image, nowadays nobody is going for deployments. So that is very, very important. Docker is playing a major role in IT industry. Also, you should remember one thing. Kubernetes. Kubernetes is one of the most important tools in DevOps culture. Without Kubernetes, even clients are not accepting production deployments. But without Docker, you cannot use Kubernetes. Without Docker image or without Docker, you cannot. So these both are interrelated. That is the reason Docker is very important and Kubernetes also is very, very important. Fine. Now, there are other differences also. I will elaborate these topics in future videos. Now I will show you how to create the container on top of EC2 instance. Let's assume that this is EC2 instance. EC2 instance means this is a virtual server in a AWS cloud. If you don't know how to create EC2, if you don't know what is EC2, please watch my AWS EC2 video in my YouTube channel. You will get a clear idea. I explained very clearly. Fine. Now, I will create one EC2 instance with Ubuntu operating system, Ubuntu Linux operating system. Here I will just Ubuntu OS. Then I will install Docker and I will create containers here. Yeah, let me log into my console. Yeah. So this is my AWS console here. Go to search and type EC2, then go to EC2 dashboard. It will take you to EC2 dashboard. Click on it. Yeah. Now, select this launch instance. This is in a dark orange color. Just click on it. Yeah. You'll get this. Just give a name for this EC2 instance. I'll give Docker engine or Docker server, something. You can do anything. Now, yeah, OS images. Ubuntu image I will select. If you select Ubuntu image, your EC2 instance will be created with Ubuntu operating system. That's it. Yeah, instance type T3 micro is enough. And key pair. I will select my key pair. If you don't have, you can just create key pair here. Yeah, click on this launch instance again, which is in dark orange color. Yeah, now our EC2 instance is getting created, launching instance. I'm telling you again, if you don't know about EC2, please watch my EC2 video in our YouTube channel. You'll get a very clear idea about that. Yeah, now just connect it. I will just select, then select this connect option. Just click on this connect again in orange color. Fine. Now, establishing the connection. Yes. So every EC2 instance having two IP addresses. See here, one is public IP, one is private IP. Now, by default, we'll be connecting with this Ubuntu user. If you are using Ubuntu Linux, then we'll just switch to a root user. Sudo space su, enter. Yeah, cd, enter. Now clear the screen, clear. If you don't know these Linux commands, I uploaded Linux basic videos in our YouTube channel. Please watch. You will get a basic idea about Linux, and that is enough to learn these DevOps tools. Yeah, fine. Now, how to install Docker? Yeah. Now, what we need to do, we need to install Docker here. Just open a browser. Open a browser. Here, just type install Docker on Ubuntu. Just select it. Yes. Now, Ubuntu Docker docs. Just how to install is Ubuntu docker.com. Just open it. Yes. Whenever you are installing some tool or software, just make sure you are downloading from official website of that particular software or tool. So this is the official website of Docker. This is the Docker logo and this is the official website. Yeah. Now here, install Docker engine on Ubuntu. Just do one thing. Just go to bottom slightly, then come up slowly. So test -docker.sh, not this one. Yeah, you can just see here curl space. Curl is the command to download something from the internet. Curl is the Linux command actually. Just copy this script, copy these commands by clicking on this copy symbol. See here, get -docker.sh. .sh means it is shell script. Curl command will use to download something. That means we are going to download this shell script. Once we download, we are going to run that shell script. See here, get -docker.sh is the shell script file. Now, if you give sh in front of that shell script file, that will run. That's it. We are downloading this get -docker.sh shell script and we are running it. That's it. Docker will be installed. Just go to your EC2 instance, just paste and enter. That's it. Docker will be installed. So here it's very easy to install Docker, and also it's very easy to learn Docker basic commands. And image concept is very important in Docker. So without image, we cannot deploy the applications in a production or even test environments also. Nowadays, for everything we're using Kubernetes, and without Docker image and without Docker, we cannot use Kubernetes. Whereas in future videos, I will, in next video only, I will explain this Kubernetes architecture also. Please don't miss. For that, I'm telling you again and again, if you subscribe my channel, you will be getting some notifications whenever I upload new videos. Yeah. Now, it's done. Now just make sure Docker got installed or not. How to make sure? How to check whether Docker installed or not? Just Docker. Every Docker command starts with keyword Docker. Docker - version is the command to make sure. Yes. Here Docker version 29.2.0. That means this is the Docker version which we installed in this EC2 instance. Clear the screen. Now we install Docker, and I will show you how to create a Docker container here. Docker run -it and Ubuntu space /bin/bash. Docker run space Ubuntu is the command to create the container. Once container creates, we need some shell, bash shell. We need, we need one shell, that's it. It can be bash shell or a C shell, K shell, anything. But usually, so most of the people will use bash shell. I also use bash shell always. So that is the reason. So bash shell means, what is the shell? If you have any doubt about the shell, please watch my Linux videos. I explained very clearly about this shell and kernel and other components and history of Linux also. I explained in day one video. Fine. It uploaded in our YouTube channel. Fine. Now -it. What is -it? -it means once it creates, you will just attach to that container, just to connect to that container. IT means interact with terminal. We need terminal to connect and work. So this is the EC2 terminal. Same. Enter. Yes. Now this is the container ID. A3CF124. This is the container ID. I just connected with the root user. See here I executed this Docker run command and from EC2 instance. This is the IP address of EC2 instance. This is the container ID of every container is having its own container ID. Just come out of this container. Now I'm inside this container. Give ls. Yes, ls is the command to list all the files and folders. Now mkdir is the command to create some folder or directory. So just see now mkdir srtech. That means I created srtech directory or folder. Whatever commands you use in a VM, it will work in a container. Because that depends on the operating system. That's it. Whatever tasks you do in virtual server, same can be done in Docker container also. That is the reason we're telling Docker container also is a complete server. Fine. Now exit. Docker ps-a is the command to list all the containers. See here, container. Every container is having container ID, image. From which image you have created this container? From Ubuntu image. Command /bin/bash. So you have given, I have given this /bin/bash in the command. That means after creating the container, Docker has run this /bin/bash as a command to get the bash shell. Fine. Created. That means this is the age of the container. Status exited. Exited means it stopped status. If it is running, we can just see up. Yeah, now 4 seconds ago it stopped. Yeah, names. We did not give any name to this container, but even though if you don't give any name, if you don't assign any name, Docker will assign some random name. It will assign name randomly. It will just take some 2 words and it will combine and assign it. Yeah, guys. So this is the way to install Docker and to create the containers on top of virtual servers. Here I used EC2 as a virtual server. Fine. Thank you.